Good morning. Welcome to Daniel Dropped Out. I'm talking about how travel is changing in 2026 today, some of the trends that are going on, and why it might be getting harder to travel and also easier. So, if you're into that kind of thing, subscribe. But yeah, first thing I want to talk about is just how things are getting cheaper and more expensive at the same time. For if you're on a budget, it's getting actually easier to find places to go. Hear me out on this. I feel like that people are underestimating or not overlooking certain budget destinations like Vietnam and Laos. And getting around in these countries is getting easier. Of course, mostly due to like digital openings, being able to get better maps in these areas and stuff. This is definitely a trend. And I think that, that's something to definitely consider is that in a way, things are getting less expensive because the less expensive places are opening. But also for like a luxury thing, a luxury standpoint, things are getting more expensive for those types of things. Prices are, rising, and I feel like we have to consider that. If you're looking to have a nice experience, I think the prices are actually going up. Another thing that's happening, climate change. It's not stopping, and it's getting worse and worse, ramping up more and more. And as things get crazier and crazier, I feel like we are just setting ourselves up for disappointment because it's getting harder and harder to escape, as tourists, just as much as living somewhere. Oh, and I feel like it's actually, and for me, kind of pressuring me to travel a bit more. And I think that because I don't think it's gonna get any better. I think that ultimately I want to experience all these places before the S hits the fan in a way. And it's not easy to see the world devolve into madness and chaos. That's not, what I would want. Get ready to roll, let's go. But look at what's going on here just in Hoi An. There was a big flood a few months ago, and luckily this is a place where they're used to this type of thing. But that is not to undermine the absolute destruction and devastation that this region has faced from continual floods, and the floods are getting worse and worse. It's a beautiful place to check out if you ever get a chance to make it over here. Absolutely poetic, romantic destination, and I'm having a great time. But I'm having a harder time noticing. I'm noticing I'm having a harder time connecting with other travelers. I'm noticing that people are more in their own world when you travel these days, more distracted by social media and their devices. And I feel like the world is changing. I don't know if social anxiety is changing people, getting worse and worse, where it's like, man, it used to be so much easier to meet people. Or maybe, is it just me? Am I just getting older? I don't know. But I want to try to make it more of an effort to connect with other travelers coming up. And, if you're traveling around Vietnam, just hit me up. I'd love to meet up with other travelers. And I think also you have to decide to root yourself in a certain area. Once you decided to kind of like live somewhere, then you can really integrate into a community, right? That's part of how you meet people is you know that you're going to be somewhere long term, and then that means that they're willing to get to know you because you'll be there. So for me, that's kind of how it works. It's like friendship is like a marketplace, you know. If people are buying and selling friendship, then you're more likely to be able to make a friend. But if people aren't interested, then it's going to be very difficult to make a friend with that person. So these are just things that I'm thinking about as far as traveling and how it's changing in 2026. Also, you know, technology and surveillance are really ramping up everywhere you go. I've noticed this a lot over here, is that, man, there's just any cafe you want to go to or anything, there's just cameras and surveillance, and man, it's just interesting to see it develop like that in a developing country. And it's not personally my favorite thing, but yeah, what's up, Grandma? And it's not my favorite thing, but I'm not also that bothered by it. Look, I'm holding the camera up right now, aren't I? But you know, I would love to see more spontaneity. And I think I'm starting to crave a more authentic travel experience in a more rugged or adventurous place. Somewhere like, you know, Namibia or Laos or all these sort of more rugged destinations is what I think I'm craving. But I do think that Vietnam is increasingly becoming a really good place to live. So next from here, we're gonna go check out Dalat. We're both really excited about the climate over there and just how interesting it looks. So wish us luck on that, but we're gonna fly over there right now from central Vietnam here soon in the coming weeks. And we're also, you know, experimenting with more slow travel. I think people are increasingly trying out slow travel as a means to really go in depth in places, which has been really fun for us. Over here, we decided to just rent a place, stick to one place for a month and see how that goes. And while it has been challenging in some ways, you know, this is a interesting area to say the least. Not the quietest place, that's for sure, especially during the New Year's holiday over here in Vietnam. It has given us more of a grounding type feeling and has been good for us in a lot of ways too. So yeah, I just think that I love kind of slow travel, where we haven't been as rushed to go and experience everything, do everything, day after day after day, having to do stuff. We're just picking one thing every few days, and slowly we're getting everything done that, you know, a tourist or traveler would want to see in this one area. And I feel like we're gonna feel complete after our time here is up, as opposed to having missed out on a lot of stuff. I always feel like I've missed out. So that's definitely one way that travel is changing for earthworms in general. No, I was kidding. For people is, I think there's more of a growing sense to slow down and just see what's out there. And yeah, these are some of the ways that travel is changing. I think people want more authenticity when they go somewhere. And you know, this place has a lot to offer for that, you know. And I think you know, oh, look at this puppy. How authentic is that? It doesn't get any more authentic than a puppy. Anyway, Everybody, they love to like get the megaphones out here and just like preach whatever they're, I don't know what they're saying, or sell stuff, you know, especially in Da Nang. We just heard Bun Bao all day. It was hilarious. I don't know, I kind of love how alive this place is, just pulsing with energy, man. You know, she's just out here growing stuff, and everybody, you know, this building got demolished the other day, and you know, things are changing so rapidly over here. I kind of love it in a way. So you know, stick around, because travel in 2026 is going to be exciting. I think that people are going to wake up more and realize that there's really never been a better time to travel, ultimately. You know, there's a lot of negativity around, you know, social influencers and how the digital world is negatively affecting places. But ultimately, you can always get away from that. You are always free. You always have agency, okay? You can be an authentic traveler and seek out authentic experiences. You just got to get off the beaten path a little bit. Get out into the locals. See what they're doing. You know? They're always working on something. Over here, that's what it feels like to me. And I think that, you know, we are at a place where it's exciting. And it's time to just get out and go this year. In 2026, I want to challenge you to get out of your comfort zone and live your best life and find happiness, whatever that means to you. That's all I wish for you. Love and happiness. All right. Thanks for sticking around.